Carlos Ramos has looked all business all week from that Sergio Martinez stable that has enjoyed real success over the last few years. He's trained by Tinin Rodriguez, who we saw over here with Angel Moreno earlier in the year, who also trains Kiko Martinez. 11-1 Ramos, that one defeat coming in the USA. Won that EU title against Razak Najib, who we've just seen comfortably over 12 rounds in the summer, and had a good win on Basque turf against a Basque fighter to claim the Spanish title. So he's not worried about going into enemy territory, if you like. And he looks pumped up for this.
And now making his way to the ring, James Jazza Dickens.
He's had a good career, Jazza Dickens, but you do get the feeling that there is something missing. He's won a British title, which is a serious achievement. He's only lost to very good fighters in Kid Galahad, Tommy Ward, and of course Guillermo Rigondeaux, who he challenged for a world title. At 28, he feels, Matt, that he's still got plenty more to give, that given the reputation he had when he turned pro, that he's yet to quite deliver.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he can. You know, like you say, those three opponents, Kid Galahad, Rigondeaux, Tommy Ward, no shame in losing to any of those guys, but this is great. This is a great competition. It's a great tournament for someone like Jazza Dickens. If he can put 3 wins together and win this tournament, then he justifiably looks to move on and go again and win some more in his career.
Well, a big golfing experience between these two, but Ramos, as I say, has come here with 100% belief. He looked quite emotional almost on that walk to the ring. He feels that this is a huge opportunity, as they all do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for quarter-final number 2 of MTK Global's Golden Contracts. We are scheduled for 10 rounds for the IBF European Featherweight title. This contest is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, and our official ringside is Dennis Gilmartin. Your 3 judges scoring ringside, Michael Alexander from Doncaster, Steve Gray from Fleetwood, and Marcus MacDonald from Twickenham. Your referee over the action, Mr. Howard Foster from Doncaster, and your timekeeper, Mr. Stephen Pucci from Milton Keynes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the officials ringside are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready to see some championship action, make some noise! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He officially weighed in at 8 stone, 13 pounds and 1 ounce. He brings to the ring a professional record of 11 wins, 7 by way of knockout and 1 loss. Tonight, he wears the black and white trunks from Madrid, Spain. Please welcome Carlos Ramos. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner. He officially weighed in at 8 stone, 13 pounds and 6 ounces. He brings to the ring a professional record of 27 wins, 11 by way of knockout and 3 losses. Tonight, wearing the burgundy trunks from Liverpool, Belfast, he is the reigning, defending IBF European Featherweight Champion, James Jazza Dickens. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Okay, fellas, spoke to you both in the dressing room. You both know I expect. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both of you watch your heads in close. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves. Good luck, lads.
So quarter-final number 2, and as mentioned there by Terry, the IBF European title is on the line here, and with it a good ranking. Jazza Dickens is at 9 with the International Boxing Federation, having beaten Nathaniel May over 10 rounds in July in Liverpool. He's been at featherweight for a little while now. Prior to that, he was at super bantam, now trained by Terry Matthews, Georgie Vaughan, originally with the Stevensons. At Everton Red Triangle, he was a good amateur. Junior ABA titles, Commonwealth Youth Silver, senior ABAs in 2010 as well, was on that GB squad. Wasn't quite for him, I don't think. And reports you've always heard from the gyms about Jazza Dickens is that he really does have a great amount of ability, and as mentioned, he has only lost to really good fighters, but he feels that there is enough in him to get above the British level that he has reached so far. And then Ramos, who's up against an opponent that he chose, fancied a fellow southpaw.
Good body shot there from Ramos. I think it's going to be a tough fight for Dickens. Ramos looks very up for this. Fired up coming into the ring. He's got good poise, he looks nice and composed. Slipping outside the shot, looking for that left hook. Come uppercut into the body of Dickens.
Dickens just looking to try and scoop into that jab to the body. Ramos just popping his jab off as well. Big overhand left there from Dickens, but the glove was up there where it needed to be from Ramos. There's that left to the body again. He's landed that a couple of times. That one landed on the forearms. Got some intent in it. That one snuck in, I think. Looking for a big left hand again there, Dickens. Didn't quite land it. Interesting first round, this.
Yeah, nice uppercut there from Dickens. A bit of a swelling coming under the right eye of Jazza as well. Been a very competitive game of chess here in this first round. Both men looking to establish their jabs. Ramos landing some good body shots.
He's found that jab a few times as well. Now Foster just telling Jazza Dickens to keep those punches up. That one straying maybe just a touch slow. It's the final 30 seconds or heading into it of round one. That's a nice right hand there, lead right hand from Dickens.
He's going to have to be switched on here, Jazza. Ramos means business. Bit of swelling under the both eyes of Dickens.
Letting go with that left hand again there. He's done that 2-3 times now. Hasn't managed to land it just yet. Left hand from Ramos, I think was half caught on the glove. Trying to sneak that one in around the back of the guard. Nice combination there from Dickens, but I don't think much of that got through clean.
No, Ramos, nice defences.
Well, if you'll just turn around, you'll see that that's O'Hara Davis. He's in the super lightweight competition, as is he, Tyrone McKenna. He's been around us most of the week, and those two have been going at it ever since it was announced that they would both be in the tournament. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens if they draw differently coloured balls at the super lightweight draw in a few weeks' time, because McKenna feels that Davis doesn't want to fight him. O'Hara, I'm sure, would have a different story. Ramos there with just a little bit of showmanship. It was a good first round, a tight first round. Dickens looking for that left hand. Gone a little bit closer and landed it there. In the first round he was letting it go from a bit further back. There was more of an arc on it, and he was having to travel further, but he shortened it up in the second round, and it looks better for it. That left hand was low.
Nearly hit his knee.
It was certainly well below the belt, and Dickens looking to just push Ramos back now. Ramos just moving back in straight lines a bit there. Dickens trying to get onto the jab.
Yeah, there's definitely been a change in tactics from Jazza. He's been more aggressive, he's been more purposeful, he's looked to come on the front foot and push Ramos back, which is a good idea. I think Ramos take the play away from him because he was very aggressive, very confident in the first round, so Dickens will want to try and take that away from him.
Dickens just looking to try and move that head as he comes forward, then just sticks out the jab. Ramos just short with his jab. Step off to the right for Dickens, then just a little bit clumsy as he chased after Ramos there.
Yeah, this is better from Dickens coming forward, keeping the hands nice and high. Pushing Ramos back.
That's a slip. And a good view of that. He just disappeared from underneath him. Now Foster was right on top of it as well. And Dickens happy to take this in close now. Yeah, and Ramos looking to try and dig with that left hand to the body. You just get the feeling that after that first round, Dickens has decided that he can walk him down, really.
Yeah, I think he realises that, you know, standing off this guy is the worst thing I can do. All it's doing is inviting more pressure, giving him the room, giving him the confidence. I've got to try and take that play away from him, push him back, stay nice and tight, don't give too much away. Got to be careful of those body shots that Ramos keeps trying to loop him. But that's a good left hand from Dickens. This is better from him.
Well, just coupled with that left hand. The referee hadn't said break.
There's been a good response from Dickens. Nice jab.
Sonny Edwards, I saw him in this ring a couple of weeks ago with another good win, and his brother, Charlie, his older brother, has vacated that WBC flyweight title. He announced that today rather than take the rematch against Julio Martinez. Making the weight is too difficult, so difficult that it's detrimental to his health, so he has moved onwards and upwards, and that will be music to the ears, I think, of Sonny Edwards, because it leaves the way a little bit clearer. So into the third round, they're scheduled for 10. Jazza Dickens in the burgundy and black, and Carlos Ramos in the black. And we've had an interesting couple of rounds so far. Ramos had a decent first round, landed some good body shots, landed a good left hand on the inside there as well. But Dickens made a decision in that second round, Matt, that he was going to, as you said, take it onto the front foot and take it to Ramos, and almost look to try and break his heart a bit.
Yeah, take the play away from him. Ramos, you know, when he's got that room and that time to spread his legs and punch out of that crouch. He looks dangerous, he looks strong, he's planting his feet, he looks confident. But, you know, Jazza in the second round, he tucked up and he pushed him back, backed him up. Don't let him get those leverages into the shot, don't give him time, don't give him room. And it was a good round from Jazza.
Decent movement there from Ramos, just moving away to his right. And then on the inside, just goes into his shell a bit, which gives Dickens a chance to work.
Yeah, and forcing the pace on him, making him work hard, making him miss, rolling under. That'll drain the battery from Ramos, take his confidence away as well. This is good from Jazza.
That left hand, he's just found the angle on that left hand. It's not really a hook, it's more of a kind of sweeping left that's just snuck in behind the guard at times.
You know, Ramos not as effective when he's being backed up. When he's coming forward and he's got time, you know, he looks dangerous, he looks confident, he shoots that jab from the hip. But when Jazza walks forward, walks him down, keeps the hands nice and high, forces the pace on him, it's a different story.
Just inching forward with that front foot there, Dickens. Front foot pressure from him. Ramos with his hands down, wades into a lead right hook, which was quite dangerous, but he kept moving in behind it.
This is good from Jazza, hands nice and high. Rocking and rolling on the inside, getting the shots off, then rolling underneath.
Left hand there from Ramos, just caught a glancing blow on the top of Dickens' head.
Nice left hook there, partially blocked, but...
Good left hand on the inside there from Ramos. Decent uppercut, then goes with the left to the body.
Yeah, that body shot's particularly a good shot from Ramos. Jazza, got to watch that. It's been a good round from Jazza though, he's been nice and busy.
Well, he's outworked Ramos, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And he's forced the pace as well.
Michael Conlon looking on. So many of the fighters on the bill tonight, he knows and knows well. Undefeated as a professional, hugely successful amateur, of course. 2015 World Amateur Champion. Boxing at featherweight at the minute, Michael. Be interesting to see whether he stays there, whether he drops down to super bantamweight as the fights tick by. Ramos is stepping in at the start of the fourth round. They're looking to let his hands go.
That was a good round from Jazza before. The last two were actually, I think he's taken the fire out of Ramos a little bit, so it'll be interesting now to see if Ramos comes back here in this round and tries to get a foothold back in the fight. I thought that was a good round in the third from Jazza. He was clever, he was nice and tight defensively, worked the body well, mixed things up, and looked like the boss in there.
Working on the inside, just finding a touch of room there, Dickens, just enough room to use both of those hands. Big left uppercut, extravagant looking shot there from Ramos. He missed with it, and it's a dangerous one to lead off with, but he got away with it.
Yeah, and he's using the experience well here, Jazza. He's letting his shots go, he's varying the power, putting some tip-tap shots together, then turning one over. I think that's good as well. Nice jab from him. Ramos was very fired up at the start of this fight, and in the first round when Jazza was backing off him, he was playing into Ramos's hands, but coming on the front foot, Jazza backing Ramos up, taking away a lot of the leverages, a lot of the power that Ramos has. Ramos has to be coming forward to get power in his shots. When he's backed up, he's nowhere near as effective.
Still looking for that left hand to the body, Ramos. That's been his most successful punch of the fight so far. Dickens with a decent stiff jab.
Yeah, I like the way Jazza's mixing things up. He's fighting, he's clever on the inside, he's showing his experience, but then when on the outside, he's nice and patient, he's taking his time, he's throwing some good straight shots, particularly the jab, good head movement.
He's really looking for that left hand. Ramos left hand there though from Dickens, knocks Ramos down, and that is a legitimate knockdown. He's complaining there, the Spanish fighter, and I think the feet did slip once the punch had landed, but it was a punch that caused that slip, so that has to be called, and the referee had no hesitation in doing so. Looking for that left to the body there, Ramos, and sunk that one in, but they're just not seeming to have any effect on Dickens.
Jazza's shown good experience here. He's feinting, he's keeping his hands nice and high, decent head movement. He's going up and down with the jab, head and body. You've got to be careful of that body shot from Ramos because he really digs it in. There's that body shot again.
Second one was maybe a little bit low. Again, though, he's sitting kind of on the thigh, Ramos, but he was on the blind side of the referee, so Halfoster didn't see it. But it's a good round for Dickens. Georgie Vaughan in the corner there. Derry Matthews just outside the ropes. Let's have a look at the knockdown. The way I saw it, the punch caused the loss of balance.
I'm not sure actually. I think it hits his arm. Let's see. There's double jab. No, yeah, that didn't really. That kind of got parried with his elbow, lost his balance and went down. So, but the ref scored a knockdown. So I think all judges will have scored that a 10-8 round. Jazza won the round. The ref scored a knockdown. Looking back at it, probably shouldn't have been.
Judges scoring at ringside, though, do have to go by what the referee decides. If he calls it a knockdown, then they have to accept it as a knockdown, even if they've had a better view and they feel that it wasn't one. Bit too much water in the corner.
Good jab from Jerry. That was a stiff jab.
Ramos looking to lead off with his right hand with a hook, and Dickens just coming back with a straight right hand, which has a shorter distance to travel.
boxing well, Jazza. He's economical, he's not giving much away, his defences are good, he's feinting, he's moving the head, he's economical with his movement. You can really see the seasoning, the experience.
Thanks to the body from Ramos. He continues to land that. He hasn't yet put any kind of a dent in Dickens.
Again, you can see Jazza feinting there, really working for the openings. He's not just going gung-ho, throwing anything. He's quite accurate. He's picking his shots. Just chopping that left hook. Short left hook behind the glove there on the inside. Nice stiff jab.
Ramos again just looking for a big left hand there, left uppercut to the body or to the head as Dickens closed in. He's happy to stand in range, Ramos. Isn't really doing enough when he's in there.
No, and Jazza coming back with a nice double jab and then chops a short left hook behind the gloves. Good body shot as well there from Jazza. He's got to be with nice 1-2. It's good work from Jazza. You know, he's not loading up, he's letting his hands go, he's nice and busy, he's finding a good rhythm here, and he's never neglecting his defences, he's constantly aware of what's coming back at him.
Really trying to set up that left hand, and Ramos just able to avoid a couple of those as he was chopping down with it there, Dickens. Caught by the jab high on the forehead there, Ramos, as he threw his own right hand. Good left hand there from Ramos. Corner encouraged by that. And decent looking right there. So not a bad finish to the round there from Ramos, and he needs something to encourage him at the minute because he's shipping rounds here, not by huge margins, but after that first round you would say that these have gone the way of Jazza Dickens.
Seconds out, round 6.
So into the second half of this one, Jazza Dickens in the burgundy and black there, Ramos in the solid black shorts. Ramos just looking to try and punch with a bit of authority with that left hand, and he's made a slightly quicker start to the 6th round.
Well, good body shot from Ramos. That's been a really good shot for him, really focusing on it, banging into hard body shots. Ramos still very much in this fight. Good jab from Jazza.
Well, the way he's come out for this 6th round, Ramos, maybe the corner had said to him, listen, you're just letting this, well, not letting it, but this is just getting away from you a bit.
Yeah, he started so well, he had a good first round, but then I thought Jazza has won every round since then. Although the last one was closer, Ramos certainly in the fight, looking particularly with the body shots, but Jazza showing his cuteness, his experience, tucking up, not loading up, not trying to hit a home run with every shot, but just tip-tapping, trying to pry open the defences of Ramos. And he chops that left hook on the inside nicely as well, Jazza. So he's showing his experience here, Dickens.
Ramos landed a left hand in the middle of all of that too, though, as Dickens was coming off looking to lead off with his right. He just caught him on the inside. He's landed some good punches, Ramos, but they've never really troubled Dickens, who's just been able to not rumble forward because, as you say, Matt, he's done it in an educated way and he's looked out for his defence as well. But after that first round, he seemed to decide, Dickens, that he could do it this way, that he could come forward, put the pressure on, not that bothered about what was coming back in the opposite direction.
Well, I think he had to come forward. I think backing up, that's when Ramos was dangerous. When Jazza in the first round gave Ramos room and was trying to box him, Ramos came forward, he had room, He was dipping low from the knees, and he was really planting his feet and digging in hard shots. And you know, in the second round, then Jazza came out, was a lot more aggressive, took the center of the ring and backed Ramos up, and he was nowhere near as effective. He is dangerous here and there, and he's got to watch out for those body shots, Jazza. But when he uses experience and he uses the head movement and he punches off the head movement and he uses the feints, you know, he's very much in the driver's seat. Good body shot there from Dickens. You know, Ramos dangerous with single shots here and there, but Jazza nice and tight, consistent, good work rate, nice rhythm, constantly touching him, constantly feinting him, making Ramos think.
Towards the end of the round, and the mouth is open there of Ramos. I just wonder if he's beginning to feel this a bit.
Big left hand there from Ramos. Luckily for Jazza, he got out of the way of it.
Too much being said in that corner. I don't think too much needs to be said at the moment. Well, sidling into the seat next to us, the golden seat as it's called during the golden contract, is our first man through to the semi-finals, and it is Tyrone McCullough. Tyrone, congratulations, good win over the 10 rounds. How much did you enjoy it in there?
It was very enjoyable. My first fight live in Sky, it was definitely an experience, and I'm delighted to be in the semis.
So into round 7. Good jab there from Dickens. And again, just leading off with that right hand. Interesting thing for you, Tyrone, as well, is to just have a look at the rest of the competition throughout the course of the evening. Some of these fighters you know well, of course, but it's a nice position to be in, safely through to the final 4, and you can see what everybody else has got.
Oh, 100%. As you say, I know some of these boxers well, especially Jazza. I used to train with George down in Liverpool, so I'm rooting for him in this one, and I'm only joining this fight on this round, but he's doing well so far, and by the sounds of the crowd, he's been won the majority of the rounds as well.
Yeah, he's boxing well, Dickens. Ramos come out very quickly in the first round. He was aggressive, he took the centre of the ring and was backing Jazza up, who was trying to outbox him but was getting caught really, and in the second round then Jazza switched tactics, came out, took the centre of the ring, backed Ramos up, and generally that's been the pattern, and he's been very much in the driver's seat. When they have been at long range, he's used his jab really effectively. Jazza's boxed well, he's mixed it up, he's fought. When they're in it together, he stays nice and tight and he lets his hands go, but he sharp shoots and pot shots well on the outside as well.
Yeah, two southpaws as well, makes for an interesting encounter. Funnily enough, a lot of the boxers in the featherweights are either southpaw or they switch, so it's very interesting.
Leading off of that right hand there again, Dickens. Just prior to that was trying to work away on the inside. Ramos just tucking up, but the pressure I think is beginning to get to him a bit here, just bit by bit. Left hand from Dickens round the back of the guard again.
He's dangerous here and there with single shots, Ramos, but he can't match Jazza for work rate, can't match him for the inside work, the nice little combination punches that Jazza puts together, just touching him, constantly making him work, constantly pushing him off balance, outworking him.
Yeah, even when I trained with Jazza down in Liverpool, his work ethic was phenomenal, so it was, he put everything in every session.
Well, he's well known for it, always has been. 20 seconds to go in round 7. Ramos just back into a shell a little bit there.
I think he's feeling the pace, Andy. You know, Jazza really outworking him, constantly touching him, constantly feinting, constantly pushing Ramos off balance. Good head movement there. He's again backing Ramos up behind a double jab, backhand.
So bell goes at the end of the round. So I've got a question for you, Tyrone, just as we have a look at the jab here at Jazza Dickens. You were trained by Georgie Vaughan.
Yeah.
You're now trained by Danny Vaughan. Jazza Dickens is still trained by Georgie Vaughan. If he gets through this and wins, which we expect him to, is there any kind of agreement about you won't pick him and he won't pick you?
No, nothing like that. Me and Jazz are good mates, but boxing's a business, and I don't know if I don't know when the draw comes around for the semi-finals if he's going to pick me or not, and he doesn't know if I'm going to pick him. But there's been no agreement anyway. Although we are good mates. I don't know how it would go down between George and Danny. It'd be very interesting to see them up against each other.
That was my point, really. The father-son combination that would make for a very interesting dynamic. It's never happened before. They've never come up against each other before. But Dickens has still got a job to do here. 3 rounds remaining against Carlos Ramos, who's put plenty into this, and it's not like he hasn't had his successes, because he has. He's landed some good shots, particularly that left to the body and the left hand upstairs at times, little uppercuts on the inside. But since that first round, it's Dickens who has imposed his will on this fight and his greater work rate.
There's a good body shot from Ramos in there. Yeah, his will and his experience. It's been a mature performance from Jazza Dickens, because Ramos is dangerous. He was very fired up. He came out and had a good first round. His confidence was up. He's been digging in some good body shots in the fight as well. He's had his moments, but it's been a pretty solid, mature performance from Dickens. He had good defensive skills on the inside. Hasn't loaded up shots, just put nice short punches, chopping that left hook round the back really effectively. And then when they are at range, he's been showing good head movement. He's been using his feints, and he's had a good jab.
Looking for that uppercut with the left hand, just jabbing his way in. Good head movement there from Ramos, just dipping away to his left, avoiding that left hand. He's got that wide, solid stance, Ramos, and because of the way he's set like that with that good base, you just kind of want to see him punch a bit more.
I think he's struggling with the pace, Andy. I mean, he carries power with single shots, and you can see he's spreading his legs and he's dipping down. He's really planting his feet, looking to generate power. But Jazza just keeps touching him, keeps feinting him, keeps offsetting him, just outworking him and outscoring him, winning all the rounds, really. By the first round, I've given Jazza everything, and Ramos is dangerous in every round, and he's having successes here and there, but he just can't match Jazza for work rate.
Dickens again looking for that left hand. Swapping jabs, final 30 seconds of round 8.
Again, Jazza coming forward, nice and busy with the southpaw jab. Mouth open now, Ramos. I think he's struggling with the pace, Andy. Breathing quite heavily here in the 8th round.
So Dickens will feel that he's inching closer round by round to taking his place in the semi-finals. But he has been caught on occasions.
Yeah, nice good left hand there from Ramos. Ramos has been very competitive, dangerous in all the fights, but the work rate from Dickens has him winning pretty much all of the rounds. He's very fit. Jazza's finding a great pace, and Ramos struggling to go with him. And I think the thing as well with Ramos is he spreads his feet far apart. He's looking for power in shots, and when someone just keeps touching it, keeps baiting, it doesn't allow you to get set. You know, and Ramos is the type of fighter who wants to get set, needs to get set in order to get his shots up.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 9.
I'd imagine Ramos has been told in the corner that he's got to go out here and have some big last 2 rounds, big finish, because his corner must know he's behind on the cards.
Judges at ringside: Steve Gray, Marcus McDonald, Michael Alexander. There's that left to the body from Ramos. That's been a good shot for him. He's landed that on numerous occasions, but it hasn't really slowed Dickens up at any stage.
Jazza's still nice and busy, just touching the gloves, not looking for any power, but just keeps him busy, keeps Ramos busy, keeps him thinking about defences, keeps upsetting him, stays in a nice rhythm. And again, head movement from Jazza, just always busy, just outworking Ramos, never allowing him to set or get, because Ramos, like he needs to get set to let his shots go. He doesn't, he's not light on his feet, he doesn't really punch on the move, he wants to plant his feet, dig them in and try and generate power, where when you've got a fighter like Jazza, just keeps touching you, keeps painting, doesn't let you get set, you can't find any rhythm, and it's been a struggle really for Ramos. He lands good single shots here and there, as you said, the good left hook to the body, good right hook there from Ramos. But again, Jazza comes back nice and busy, and they're tip-tapper, pitter-patter shots, Andy. They're not doing any damage, but they just keep Ramos busy. It stops him from being able to get set. Ramos is someone who wants to plant his feet to generate power, so he needs to get set in order to throw his shots. And when you got someone like Jazza who just keeps touching you, keeps fainting, keeps touching you, he's not allowing him to get set, just keeps offsetting him.
Just keeps turning him. Did it again there, missed with the left hand, but then just pivoted around that front foot, that right foot, and made Ramos turn. Got some power in the left hand there, Ramos, but a good stiff jab from Dickens.
Yeah, that was a solid left hand from Ramos. Good single shots, very dangerous with the single shots, Ramos, but it's a little bit too, he's not doing enough to win the rounds when you've got Jazza just outworking him. He's like a little dynamo at times. Jazza never stops. But again, double jab, left hook around the back of the gloves.
Just dipping in with that front foot there, Dickens. Moving the head, goes with the left to the body. Closing seconds of round 9, just one more round to go after this one. Let's go down to ringside where Andy Scott is with Jamie Conlon.
Jamie, I think the general consensus is that Jazza is in control of this. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think he made some slight adjustments throughout the fight. He's just started to out-bully the bully at the very start and then started to box him on the back foot and at range. Ramos
does seem to hit with single shots, dangerous single shots, but has he got enough in the tank to turn this around and land himself that $5,000 knockout bonus?
Well, it's very hard to say never, but especially with the big puncher as Ramos is, but he just seems to be looking up for the one shot instead of trying to break the shots down together and put them together instead of just a single loading shot.
You know the guys in the Dickens corner, will they just be saying, look, you've got it won, go for the points, or will Jazza be thinking, I could force a stoppage here myself?
Well, I think Jazza's his own man, and I think he may go in here and try and make a statement in the last round.
Okay, well, we hope so, from a TV point of view.
Seconds out, 10th and final round.
So touch of gloves between the two, 10th and final round. It's been a decent fight, it's been a perfectly good fight to watch. And Dickens he's outworked and outlanded Ramos. He hasn't really had him in any trouble at any point. He's not tagged him with any huge monster shots at any stage. And Ramos has always been in it, he's always been competitive, and he has had success, as we've been saying throughout the course of the fight. But it's Dickens who has applied more pressure, who has thrown more, and who has landed more.
Yeah, he's looked dangerous throughout, Ramos, particularly in the first round. He had a great first round, and he's been always dangerous in the fight, but he's been relying on single power shots, and Jazza just finding a nice rhythm, constantly busy, good work rate from him, and then when Ramos does come back, his defences have been good from Jazza. This is a good start to this round though from Ramos. But if I was in Ramos's corner, I'd be telling him he needs a knockout here. I think he's been outworked in this fight completely.
Decent combination there from Dickens, and that kind of typifies what he's been doing. 5 punches, one maybe got through clean, one maybe half got through, but it's the industry behind it and some accuracy, and Ramos just hasn't quite been able to go with him on that score. He's had to wait for Dickens to stop punching most of the time.
Yeah, it's going back to what I was saying about him wanting to get set. Ramos wants to be very deliberate, very plant his feet, driving power shots. He doesn't like the tipper-tapper consistency, the rhythm that Jazza's fighting in. It's very busy, it's constant, and he wants to let some big shots go, have a little rest, another big shot, plant his feet. Everything's very deliberate, but Jazza can see that all coming a mile away, and he keeps feinting, keeps offsetting Ramos, who again misses wildly there. And it's just the work rate and the consistency of Jazza that, you know, Ramos hasn't really been able to get to grips with. Good uppercut there though from him. Always dangerous with those single shots.
Just moving the angle there, Dickens, dipping away to his right-hand side, looking for a route through. Good left hand there on the back of that three-punch combination. Ramos comes back nicely. Left hand there looked low. Did look low. I don't think the referee had a great view of it, to be fair to Howard Foster.
Yeah, there's been a better round from Ramos. He's landed more shots here. But it's been a good performance from Jazza. I think it's been a mature performance. He's shown his experience. He's shown good defences. He's fought up close when he's had to. He's boxed well on the outside when he's had to. I think it's been a very, very good performance from Jazza Dickens.
Well, Dickens confident as he goes back to the corner there. A satisfied smile on the face of Derry Matthews, and the corner nearest to us that you're looking at, that of Carlos Ramos. They know that their man has lost this fight and that the decision is going to go the other way.
Again there, nice jab, hooking off the jab. Just constantly busy. Jazza doesn't load up, just lets his hands go. Doesn't give anything away either. Defences were really good throughout the fight.
Handshakes between the two corners. And as mentioned, it was Dickens who at the draw on Tuesday chose Ramos, and there were other fighters available to him. He had second pick, so only David Oliver Joyce was out of the picture at that stage. Ryan Walsh was still available, Carlos Araujo was still available, but he went for Carlos Ramos. He told me that he likes a southpaw, and he got the job done. We still have to get official confirmation of that, but it will be extraordinary if he doesn't get this on the cards.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge MacDonald scores the bout 97-92. Judge Gray scores the bout 99-91. And Judge Alexander scores the bout 97-92. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still, IBF European Featherweight Champion, James Jazza Dickens.
So as expected, Jazza Dickens gets the win and goes through to the semi-final stage as he keeps that IBF European title. And he got some change on the cards there, Carlos Ramos. A couple of rounds with one judge, 3 rounds with 2 of the others. And he had his say, as we said right from the beginning. He did the work, he put the work in, he did land some decent shots, but it was Dickens who was comfortably the winner over the course of the 10 rounds, and he is down ringside with Andy Scott.
Jazza, you are the second man through to the semi-finals. Break that fight down for us.
We knew he was tough and he was game, and he had one big shot and he was looking for it all the time throughout the fight, so thought, you know, we get ourselves through to the semi-final and then the business starts there.
Yeah, you mentioned his single one-punch power. He looked dangerous early, but you seemed to take the heat out of him and settle into a natural rhythm.
He was dangerous while he was fit, and as progress started off a little bit, we expected that. So we started putting the combinations together and putting them on the back foot, which he couldn't box.
I know we don't know the other 2 semi-finalists, but do you have someone in mind that you want to box next?
I just hope it's not Tyrone. We love Tyrone in our gym, and we'll have to steal Dominic out the corner if we do fight.
We're going to have to start paying appearance fees. Who's this, Jazza?
This is Bo from Holy Cross, who's the champ. Aren't you going to be the champ?
Yeah.
Good lad.
Okay, well done.